Welcome back, guys, to Trails to Azure, where last episode, having landed in a gap between the Septian veins, Lloyd, Wazi, and Zeit traveled to Crossbell down Ursula Road to check out the barrier blocking entry to the city, before setting off to St. Ursula Medical College, being attacked by another cryptid, Elon Arc, once again. On arriving at the hospital, we found members of the CDF blocking our entry, rushing them and defeating them in battle to allow our Dominion to use a skill to alter their memories, making them leave with false intel, as Tio then arrived to meet us at the gate, soon followed by Cecile and Fran. We then touched base in the inn, as we now sweep the building while Fran gets ready to join us. We've got Tio. Now that means we have to set up Tio. You've just been gifted all the new stuff by the look of it. Here, have all this stuff already. That'll be fun. But what do we have you with? I think we had you with the Grail Locket. And ideally, I guess, did we have you with the brushy thing too? Maybe? And have you already got a new weapon? Oh, it's nice how everyone's bought their own weapon. I'm cool with that. Right, you had cannon, which had a high amount of ATS, so obviously, certain other stuff is a little bit better here. You also come with some extra quartz. I'm not sure they're the ones that were already on you. I have no clue what I had on you. I think I had something for, like, high, probably like something like heal, maybe. High values. Isn't bad. I think I had mostly, I obviously had a cast 2. Oh, I had a cast 1 on you, did I? I guess I did. EP cut 3. I think I had a mind 3 on you. Things with good values in general, basically. Maybe I had Shackle on you as well, actually. I had that on Ellie. So many questions. Needing more answers. What did I have on each of my guys? Did I have an Invigorate on you? Was that on Ellie as well? I think I weirdly had an action, but we took that off very recently. I mean, looking at values is probably better, right? Must have had a mind 3, I feel. About 2 people with it on? Yeah, 2 people have got it, but it's such good value. Alright, that looks normal. Yes, you had these things. You had these, yes. You had Hydro Cannon. Okay, you had Shadow Blade, good. Dark Matter. And you had Galleon Tower. I think we might have put it back correctly. I think somehow I actually remembered. Have you been taking the time to study these days, Michonne? Well, not exactly. I haven't really been in the mood. With everything going on in Crossbell, I'm finding it difficult to focus. I'm too worried about everyone at Lotus Heights. It's completely understandable that you would feel that way. But don't forget what you're here for. Make sure to get back to those books once you've calmed down, okay? Patrol time, but one place only. Right, I just can't stop wondering if everyone back at Lotus Heights is okay. Though I guess using that as a reason not to study would be pretty pathetic of me. Studying is all about persistence, miss. One day, and it'll cost you 3 more to get back in the room. I know you're worried about what's going on in the city, but this isn't the time to start slacking off, okay? I overheard those kids talking about Arc-en-Ciel. They're big fans. They came to the hospital hoping to visit Ilya, but stayed after the barrier went up. They've been helping me out a lot, in fact. It's nice to know some good kids are being raised in the state, you know. So it's those 2. Those 2 over there are big fans of Ilya. Nice to know they didn't go militant because of what happened. Ooh. A paper, you say? Now we can get caught up on things. Oh, yes. We have got a Sunshine Agnes read as well, don't we? Yeah. A month in review. Thankfully, it's a month in review, right? Crossbell's independence. Featured story. The month in review, Crossbell's independence. A month of revolution. As we pass the 1-month anniversary of President Croiss's Declaration of Independence, the initial wave of confusion is just now beginning to subside. We'd like to take a moment to examine the changes ushered in by Crossbell's leadership over this previous month. Volatile independence. Immediately following the declaration, the Imperial and Republican governments denounced Crossbell's independence. After waiting out a 24-hour ultimatum, both nations advanced their armies into Crossbell. The Empire's armored divisions forced their way through Belgard Gate, and the Republic's armored aviation divisions paved the way for their ground forces. Both armies then moved to invade Crossbell City. However, both advances were stopped by the Ions, cutting-edge archaisms under the command of the newly independent state. Even the nefarious railway guns mounted at Grelia Fortress by the Empire were neutralized by the mighty Ions upon taking aim at Crossbell City. New state defense weapons deployed. In order to safeguard Crossbell's peace and autonomy, the CDF has deployed a new defensive mechanism that uses powerful orbital waves to create a protective barrier around Crossbell City. Officials say that it will protect the people of the city from all external assaults. Not everyone is entirely satisfied with these arrangements, however. Some are concerned that travel will take longer on account of the Defense Force's permit system, while others are concerned that the towns outside the barrier are being left defenseless. Neither the Defense Force nor the state government elected to answer our questions on either topic. I mean, okay, the ones outside aren't in a barrier, but if anyone tries any crap on them, they're just getting killed by Ions, so it's... Roadmap to the United Nations. A few days ago, the independent state government announced its plan to form a continental alliance. 4 nations have already agreed to join. The initial members of the United Nations will sign on to the alliance in the coming months. Because the organization promises to prohibit acts of war while guaranteeing open international trade, the prospective partnership has garnered a favorable public opinion. The international reaction. The Holy City of Arteria has made its first official statement regarding Crossbell's independence, in which the papacy simply stated that it would continue to monitor the situation in Western Zemuria. A PR official of the independent state claims that the Liberal Kingdom and Principality of Rimaferia have, for all intents and purposes, respected the will of the people and acknowledged Crossbell's sovereignty. Finance. Calva's economic panic continues. The Republican government has issued a series of financial reforms, but as borrowers continue to default on their loans, the economic turmoil in the country only further escalates. International companies operating out of Calva have also begun to feel the effects of the recession. To compound the issue, many civilians were also harmed in a reactionary bus bombing just yesterday morning. International. The Erebonian Civil War, an all-out conflict. Just days ago, Gilead Osborne, Blood and Iron Chancellor and central figure of the Empire, was shot by an assassin. The reformist faction has pledged to fight to the bitter end to avenge their leader, indicating no end in sight to their civil conflict against the noble faction. Droves of Imperial citizens are attempting to flee the country and escape the flames of war. We will continue reporting on this story as more information comes in. Society. Defense Force considers hoarding restrictions. In response to citizens' continued efforts to stockpile groceries and daily necessities, the Crossbell Defense Force has expressed that a sufficient quantity of goods are being distributed within the city and urged citizens not to hoard necessities without reason. Reportedly, the independent state government is in possession of an emergency reserve of 5 years' worth of food and supplies, some of which is already being dispensed to major grocers. The Defense Force is considering regulating private stockpiles in the event that the disruptions regarding the issues do not diminish. Our leisure and lifestyle section is on hiatus until further notice. There's no leisure or lifestyle here. That reminds me, we haven't seen each other since the day of the President's address site. I left to follow Kia after Alios took her away, but I never did find out where that led you. Well, I pursued them as far as I could, but once the Divine Blade reached the lake, I was no longer able to follow. I wish that I could have done more for Lloyd and the others. That was when I returned to my old pack and began making preparations. That I ended up causing you undue concern, however, is something I regret in retrospect, Cecile. It's alright. What matters is that you're safe now, Zype, the way Lloyd is. Not to mention you're even helping him and Wazi in battle. So thank you for that. Cecile gently petted Zyte's head. For some reason I feel a lot more at ease when I'm with you, Zyte. Yeah. Cecile is a descendant of Saint Ursula. 100%. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked before petting you like that. Didn't offend you, I hope. No. It was nothing so unpleasant. I wonder what's up with Zeit. He's being awfully quiet. Perhaps being pet by Cecile has left him feeling awkward. As my presence would likely cause the patients a fair bit of alarm, I shall wait for you here. Take as long as you need to make your visits. I always find it relaxing when Zeit keeps me company. We haven't known each other for long, nor have we spent much time together, and yet I feel so at ease around him. There's something nostalgic about it, somehow, as if we've been friends for ages. One would almost think you two were attached by a red string of fate. I don't know if I'm more jealous of Zeit or Cecile. It's totally okay. I'm glad that it said that and then it basically has in dialogue. It's not like a full-on confirmation because no one expressly said, but it is a confirmation. Lady Ilya has regained consciousness. I couldn't be more over the moon. This makes all the time we spent staying here and praying for her recovery totally worth it. Times are tough right now, so as much as we'd give anything to pay Lady Ilya a visit, we need to hold back. Instead, we should try to help her out around the hospital and make ourselves as useful as can be. I'm assuming this is open again, yeah. It's got house people now, right? Because I wasn't able to travel to the hospital, my prescription for my chronic disease ran out and I began having spasms. The whole experience has taught me all too well how inconvenient these travel restrictions can be. We'll have to wait for the next round of Defense Force escorts to go back to the city too. May as well get comfortable. It could take a while. My husband started having spasms as a result of his chronic disease, so we called an ambulance and rushed on over. Thankfully, our travel application was accepted. The screening process is so rigorous, I was afraid he might be turned away. With how things are, perhaps it'd be better if he stayed here long term. Probably, if you can. I mean, there's still some room. Depends how much medicine you can take home, right? Depends how much medicine the hospital's got. I guess because Remoferia is in the process of bending the knee that supplies are still coming from there. Well, they can't manufacture the drugs themselves. Just that is the medical place. I believe Mayfair is resting in her room right now. She and the rest of the staff have been working around the clock, so I hope they make sure to let themselves recharge. That's what breaks are for. I'm wondering if we find any, like, Calvardian or Erebonian soldiers in here. It looks like the Ions did very much killing blow everything, but you never know. With our number of outpatients dwindling down to 0, I've had more time to take breaks like this. Though knowing why we're not admitting patients keeps me from enjoying it. Still, Martha ordered me to rest up. On the other hand, I don't think I feel too comfortable leaving Sarone unattended like this. Maybe I'll go check on her later. Yeah. I swear, if Sarone goes and does something crazy while I'm not around, I'll... Oh, this isn't good. I think having time to worry about Sarone like this is making me even more stressed out. We should check out the entirety of the hospital before hitting the final floors where everyone will be after all. I'm trying out a new S-craft I came up with yesterday, except the S stands for sheet drying. I call it the pile dryer. Like it? Stacking sheets together lets me dry twice as many at once. That means I should be done in half the time, right? Now I can easily cover all of Bayfa's work while she has the day off. I think. I don't know what I'm going to do if this doesn't work. Okay, so I just realized the pile dryer doesn't work at all. Like, not even a little bit. Maybe has a day off, so I figured I could cover for her, but it's a lot harder than I was expecting. She gave up quick. It's just, thicker, wetter sheets, right? The interesting thing is, I dry my sheets that way. But it's a little different, because I'm not putting them out in the open because, you know, rainy Britain and all. When you can, you can. It's free, after all, and doesn't use electricity. But as a dehumidifier that often ends up drying the clothes. And therefore, using a clothes horse to layer the sheets on top of each other and making a trapped heat area dries it so fast. And dries the rest of the clothing really fast as well. It's even more efficient. So you've been fighting the defense force all this time. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like I didn't have any confidence in you. Know that whatever happens, you have the full support of everyone here at St. Ursula. Thank you. We'll be needing it. The hospital used to purchase most of its necessities through a trader named Harold Hayworth. However, with the state things have been in lately, we've had to rely on the CDF for supplies. I can't speak to their quality, but there's no other choice in our current situation. Oh. Yes, now that barrier's up. Has Harold been able to reunite with his family? Crossbell has seen better days, but you wouldn't know things were so gloomy here at St. Ursula. Everyone has been more positive than ever now that Ilya Platiere has woken up from her coma. If she can endure a near-death experience like that and come out the other side, then we can weather this storm too. Yeah, I guess there wouldn't be any patients here, right? We're much indebted to Miss Blado here for lending so much of her assistance with maintaining the orbital network. Even in the worst-case scenario, we should still be able to accept new patients as long as the network is functional. We wouldn't have this safety net without you. For that, I offer you my sincerest gratitude. Your thanks is appreciated, but unnecessary. This is all part of the job as a member of the Epstein Foundation. Okay. Tio wasn't really all that trapped then. She was, but also wasn't. She wasn't kept in a prison cell, let's put it that way. Being forced to stop accepting outpatients thanks to the outbreak of cryptids on the highways. At the moment, we can only admit patients who are gravely ill or injured, and even they have to be escorted via ambulance by the Defense Force. All of this is the complete opposite of everything St. Ursula stands for. We're no longer providing healthcare to everyone who needs it. More than anything, I just worry for our regular patients in the city. Yes. Things stand, we can only treat the gravely ill and injured. There's still people with minor maladies that are kind of suffering, because minor maladies are annoying too. I wonder how my wife and son are doing in the city right now. God us willing, they'll stay safe from any illness or injury. As much as I want to see them again, I should be grateful they haven't had a reason to be brought here. Needless worrying isn't going to get them anywhere. The question is, right, how do they contain Randy? What do you do with Randy if you're not putting him in a prison cell, right? Right after Crossbell formally declared independence, I received a notice to return to the Empire, but I decided to remain here. There is where I belong. Or this is where I belong. There's still so much I can learn. Sorry, Arbonia, but I'm not ready to return home just yet. Don't believe the text. Things are no safer over there than they are here anyway. I hope my family hasn't been caught in the crossfire of the Civil War. I don't regret my decision to stay in Crossbell one bit, not at this point. Still, I hope my family hasn't been caught in the crossfire of the Erebonian Civil War. Oh, hello, Tio. I'm in the middle of performing some maintenance on our equipment. Mind checking these values for me? Well, if you look closely, the durability figures are slightly below the minimum value. The likeliest explanation is that the moving parts are degrading due to age. I thought as much. This is a fine mess. Tio must have gotten really familiar with the staff and faculty during her stay here. Seems St. Ursula and the SSS can both agree on how nice she is to have around, as far as orbital tech is concerned. Not good. These were made by the sailing company, so we can't easily order replacements at the moment. But we can't do nothing either. I'll just have to scrounge around for spare parts. It's weird. Whatever these bars that are ahead are actually going through the terrain, aren't they? Holding up the thing. So it just makes it look like Wazi and her head's been cut through. I didn't notice that was the effect they gave off before. Maybe it's just now. Why am I only noticing that now? Like the textures are gone. Outpatient admittance has been restricted for now, but we never know when someone with a serious illness may come in. That's why we have responsibility to make sure we're prepared at all times. Oh no, the textures are gone. These are normal here. I've heard that the barrier around the city extends past Crossbell Cathedral. I had much I wanted to consult with Archbishop Aralda about, but I suppose that's off the table. What a shame. Archbishop Aralda. I wonder how he's holding up right now. Perhaps this is merely a test from the goddess, all the more reason to do everything I can for the patients. Yes, Red Constellation did say that Randy was out near our marker, but we don't know what state. We don't know where he was trying to be put. Stuff like that. We don't have the information yet. We've been forced to stop accepting outpatients thanks to the outbreak of cryptids on the highways. As things stand, we can only treat the gravely ill and injured. Makes me worry for our regular patients trapped in the city. Oh, I've already talked to you. Get out. Is anyone in here then? There's a few. You have to fill out an application in order to return to the city after you've been discharged. Even then, there's no guarantee of approval. If that wasn't enough, they'll only let you leave with the defense forces available to escort you. It's downright depressing. Yes, your post-operative progress seems to be proceeding without issue. If it were up to me, I'd discharge you immediately, but even if I did, I know where this is going. We're still not allowed to travel on the highways, right? Jeez, may as well stay hospitalized if I'm not going to be able to go back to the city. Unfortunately, even the patients that are well enough to be discharged can't just return to the city whenever they want. They say it's because of the cryptids appearing on the highway, but I still think these restrictions are going too far. Jeez, may as well stay hospitalized. Okay. I want to get up and do stuff. Did you hear the good news? Ilya and Inspector Donovan have both regained consciousness. It's been one piece of bad news after another lately. Hearing they've woken up was just the ray of light I needed to get me out of my slump. Do you wonder where we go to after this? Tio, my dear, is it true that you're going to be leaving us? Yes, I'll be going with the others. Thank you for everything, Martha. I hope I've managed to repay you for how well you took care of me all those years ago. If only just a little. Now, that's all in the past. Don't you worry your cute little head about it. Remember that you're welcome to visit us whenever you like. Take care of yourself out there, alright? Yes, of course. I'll make sure that I do. Tio's helped so much these last few weeks with the hospital machinery, and it's been quite nice having a chance to chat with her. Remember that you're welcome to visit us whenever you like. Take care of yourselves out there, alright? Will do. The police officers in that group of delinquents who were hospitalized earlier have already been discharged. Normally I schedule follow-up visits to check up on their progress, however with the current highway restrictions, that's out of the question. As a doctor, I simply can't abide by these ridiculously irresponsible mandates. If they could only see how negligent they're being. Part of me was hoping to meet Ilya after I heard she was hospitalized here. When I saw how committed she was to her recovery, it totally blew me away. I'm a bigger fan of hers than ever now. Really hope it works out for her. So she's in physical therapy. That's more along than we thought. I hope Ilya's rehabilitation goes well. I'll be cheering her now more than I ever did when she was on stage. Sure, I have a lot I could say about that good-for-nothing president. But what good would that do? We're already independent. It's a little late to start protesting about it now. Good for nothing, eh? Let's see here. Notebook, enigma, toothbrush. Oh, we'll have to finish saying goodbye to all of the other patients and nurses too. I think Fran needs a little more time to get ready. That's fine. We still have our own rounds to make, don't we? Oh, I should probably change into my uniform now that I'm getting back in the action. No peeping, got it, boys? I would never. Oh, it's already time for the nurse to take your temperature again. Come on in. Pardon us. Ooh. Your eye? Well, I'll be. Bannings, Hemisphere, what are you doing here? It's great to see you again, Inspector Donovan. And who do we have here? A lovely lady friend of yours? We could always come back later if you prefer a little privacy together. I finally wake up after being in a coma for who knows how long, and this is how you greet me? Hey, Dios is watching, Father Wazi. This is Farah, Inspector Donovan's wife. She has been staying here at the hospital to help take care of him. It's nice to meet you two. Thank you for always helping out my Donnie. I've heard a lot about the SSS from him and Tio. You sound like quite a motley group. Yeah, your praise honors me. I'm not so sure that's what it was. Good thing you two are here because I've got some questions that need answering. Just what is going on out there? Of course, let me start at the beginning. Holy City of Arteria, things are a lot more serious than I thought. The way it sounds, I'm guessing you'll be better off if HQ doesn't know anything about this little conversation. If you wouldn't mind. Well, it doesn't matter to me either way. I'm not the fugitive here. The fugitive? Never mind that. Inspector, has anyone from Crossbell City been in contact since you woke up? Well, Raymond did come to visit, and he told me a little bit about what's going on. what I gather, the CPD's been consolidated into that new defense force as one of its lower branches. The day-to-day is still the same for the most part, but they've basically been relegated to doing chores in the city. I assumed as much. That's the only way it could have gone. Really, with the way the president set this up. Wasn't there any pushback? I mean, surely not everyone in the department's okay with this. I don't know about Vice Commissioner Pierre, but I can't imagine Chief Sergei or Dudley are fine with it. Well, just between you and me, it seems Sergei, Dudley, Raymond, and some of the folks in the Metropolitan Division are up to something. And what would that be? You didn't hear this from me, but they're biding their time, waiting for an opportunity to flip everything on its head. They're not the type to just roll over and take it all on the chin, which means that not all hope is lost. Yeah, but getting in contact is going to prove difficult. Let's just leave the city to them. We need to work on breaking this deadlock in another way, from outside the barrier. Good call. You kids are fighting an uphill battle, but know that I'm rooting for you. Once I'm healthy, I plan to head back up there and give Sergei and the boys a hand. Honey, if you must, but let your colleagues handle it for now. Need your rest first. I'm not letting you set one foot out of this hospital until you've made a full recovery. Do I make myself clear? Yes, dear. I've never heard anyone talk to him like this. The inspector is no match for his wife, as I've come to understand. Love comes in many forms. I would say Donnie is a lucky man. Boy, though I feel a little embarrassed letting you kids see me like this. Laura's had me wrapped around her finger since the day I put a ring on it. You two seem to make a great pair. Cute couple is how I would put it. Aww. Do you hear that, sweetie? I've always said you were cute. Gosh, should really have to be like this in front of them and Raymond? I understand there's a lot going on in Crossbell right now, but that's all the more reason for me to keep looking out for my Donnie. Someone needs to make sure he doesn't do anything reckless. Well, whatever you kids end up doing, just be careful out there. Hopefully I'll be back on my feet soon so I can regroup with Sergei and the others. There you guys are. No, go away. I haven't talked to Ilya yet. Hey, Fran. I see you dressed for the occasion. Are you all done packing? You betcha. How do I look? I've missed seeing you in your uniform, Fran. Welcome back to the force. I've missed it too. Were you visiting Inspector Donovan just now? Yeah, we just finished catching up. Are you going to do the same? That's right. I couldn't just leave without saying goodbye to him. He saved my life during the raid, after all. I don't think I could ever thank him enough for that. We understand. You go do what you have to. We'll wait up. Thanks. See you guys in a bit. I want to find out. Well, while she does that, why don't we go check in with Ilya? Yeah, sounds good. Can't thank you enough for saving me the way you did, Inspector. I promise to visit again as soon as I can. No need to go out of your way for me. I'm going to be just fine. Wasn't too long ago that you were in one of these beds too, so take care of yourself out there, got it? Oh, honestly, Donnie's reckless enough for a man half his age. I don't think he realizes how much worry he's caused you, Fran. Still, he was very heroic. It's just like him to protect a pretty girl. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Are you saying, or are you saying, yes, he knows that we ladies are the prettiest? There's no one in here, obviously. Tell a lie. Dr. Sayland? Oh, good to see you, SSS. This used to be Shizuku's room. What are you doing in here by yourself? Well, she's a former patient of mine. I was simply working through some thoughts. That's just how she's been since Arios McLean took her from the hospital. Now that I think about it, I haven't heard anything about her since that day. She must be holed up with the others at Orcus Tower. Having a patient wrested out of your care is a shameful experience, even if it was by her own father. Still, I understand that the circumstances were anything but ordinary, Arios having been appointed as the Secretary of Defense. I know there was simply no way he could allow her to stay here any longer, but it doesn't make it any easier to accept. I'm sorry, Doctor. No, I should be apologizing. You don't need to hear about my troubles. You've come to visit your friends, correct? I'd like some time alone, if you wouldn't mind. Shizuku McLean. I had painstakingly drafted out her treatment plan for the next year. Having a patient wrested out of your care is a shameful experience, even if it was by her own father. Still, I suppose there's no sense in brooding over a discharged patient. Ilya, how are you? Sitting? Visitors? Who is it? You can come in. Please excuse us. Hey there, Tio. Did you bring Well, if he's my favorite little guy. And you're Wazi, right? I'll chalk that lapse up to the injury. It really has been a long time, Ilya. Sorry for the sudden visit. I didn't know we were going to get the chance to come see you. Don't be ridiculous, silly. You free take a seat and make yourselves comfortable. You're welcome to help yourself to the sweets that fans have been sending me. The cookies should be too stale, I'm sure. Cookies acquired. I hadn't realized just how tight of a spot you guys are in. It's crazy to think how far Crossbell has fallen in the time since the raid. Yeah, no one would blame you if you thought you were still dreaming right now. The frustration of not being able to move my legs is sobering enough, thank you very much. If only I could walk out of here and see the state Arkansas is in with my own eyes. Hey, Ilya, about your condition, how's it looking? Oh, that. Dr. Salin told me that so far, she doesn't know whether I'll ever be able to walk again. But on the bright side, that means she didn't rule it out either. I thought that might be the case. Oh, enough with the long faces, you two. You're trying to bum me out. Listen here. If I become convinced that it's impossible for me to ever walk again, then it might as well be, right? What? This is no different than working the stage. I have a goal to pursue, the way I always have. So no matter how painful or hopeless it might seem, as long as I've got a ray of hope, then that's my spotlight at the end of the tunnel. So don't go giving up on me. I sure won't. You're really something else. Am I? I don't think I said anything all that out of the ordinary. Besides, I think what all of you are trying to accomplish is a lot harder than what I'm going through. Is it? Put into perspective, it's hard to ignore just how difficult our path is going to be. And take a page from my book and don't shy away. People will do whatever it takes to fight for what matters most to them. I think that's what makes us human, no matter how we may differ in strength. What makes us human? Well put. Well, I'll admit I'm a bit greedy than most. Good enough isn't good enough for yours truly. Still, I don't think I'm the only one like that. The same could be said of all of our troop members, including Risha, of course. Ilya, do me a favor if you see her. There's a message I want you to pass along. What is it that matters most to you? Can you truly turn your back in the face of what you hold dear? Sure thing. I'll make sure Risha hears that if we manage to find her. I'll hold you to it. Risha. I'll say it weirdly. Admittedly, I am still worried about all my fellow troop members in the city. Then again, this is Arkansas I'm talking about. Knowing them, they're practicing just as hard as ever. So what you're worried about is whether or not they're rehearsing. I am certain they are galloping about in laces and frills as we speak. Ah, to be an artist. Plus, there are important years, or these are important years for studies growth in particular. That girl had better improve by leaps and bounds by the time I make my stunning comeback. We'll see. There any special Septian church stuff you can do? Wave your badge at her? She's a character, isn't she? That fervent dancer moniker follows her around when she's in no shape to dance. It would seem her role as the Sun Princess extends beyond the stage. I've had the chance to speak with her several times since I became stranded at the hospital. It would have been a challenge keeping myself together if not for her and Cecile. I'm glad they were here then. That said, now we're going to have to track down Risha too. Easier said than done. That's going to come down to Adrius' will, more likely than not. Should we head back and check on Fran? Yeah, she must be ready by now. Afterward, Lloyd and the others met back up with Zeit. They said their goodbyes to Cecile and then left St. Ursula Hospital. On their way back, Wazi discovered another blind spot in the Septian Vein's influence just in front of the hospital. Place a second warp circle there, making it possible for the Merkaba to travel to St. Ursula and pick them up. By the sound of it, everything we're going to do then is a day. Hey, wait, I didn't speak to you. We're With Tio and Fran aboard, the team is now able to track wanted monsters and other requests along the highways from the Merkabah's terminal. The terminal can be found in the Merkabah's lower cabin. Be sure to check it when you have the time. We're filling things out. New blind spot in the Septian Veins influence detected. I will relay you the data. Okie dokie. Coordinates identified. It's in northeastern Crossbell, near our Morka village. Impressive. These two are quite helpful. Plato's sensory receptivity is valuable in itself, but having a dedicated operator has raised the ship's overall efficacy as well. I'm still flying by the seat of my pants, honestly. Searching for places we can land will be much easier with you on the crew. So what now? Would you like to head to our new landing point? Yeah, we should go confirm the situation in our Morka village too. Full speed ahead. Destination, our Morkan airspace. All set. Maintaining high alert. Oh, I hope I didn't miss anything with the guard at the front door. But I'm guessing we could just straight go back in a second. I reckon I can go straight go back now. Yeah. You've messed with my cutscene, how dare you?